Hey everybody, so if you've just watched my how to ride a motorcycle video, this is what to expect at a CBT. If you've not watched that video and you are interested into how to do the basic controls of a motorcycle, got a link in the description, there'll be a card up there, you can go and watch that. But basically, right, CBT, Compulsory Basic Training. Now, it isn't a test. A lot of people will say to you, no, it's not a test, you can't fail. It's true, you cannot fail a CBT as such, but you cannot be awarded the award. And let's face it, at the end of the day, you can either get an award or not get an award. It's kind of like passing or failing, isn't it? But that's by the by. You have to do something incredibly dangerous, basically, or to risk yourself or another. You can even actually drop the bike and stuff during the CBT. As long as you've done it in a safe manner, it's fine, you'll still get your CBT. Now, to explain how the day works and how it's structured out. This is the way it should work. If you go somewhere and they think they can do a CBT in 4 hours, they are being unsafe to you and everyone else on the road. It should take 8 hours, including a lunch break normally, but that's okay. So the way that it should be structured is you'll arrive on the day. If you haven't got any gear and stuff, they'll kit you out with gear, but if you're going to get a bike, I would suggest, get the gear first. Well, if you don't mind borrowed, unwashed gear, kind of reminds you of sports at school and not having your kit that day. But yeah, you've got to have the right gear. They won't let you do it without the right gear. Then they'll explain the bike to you, which I have explained in my how to ride a motorcycle video, the general controls. And they'll talk a little bit about the highway code, I hope. They didn't in mine necessarily so much, but yeah. So there's basically that. And the first part of the day is they explain the controls, they explain how to put it on and off a stand, manual handling as it's called, which is how to push a bike around safely. It seems stupid, but trust me, a lot of people drop their bikes because they don't know how to push them around properly. But anyway, then in the car park, because it's done in a car park off the road, they're going to set up a number of scenarios. They'll have lines and cones and things, and it's quite simple. You just imagine that they're roads. And they'll do things like pulling out of a right-hand junction, pulling out of a left-hand junction. You have to remember to listen to what they say and follow every step. You pretend that it's a real live road. So when you get up to the line, for instance, you're checking either side, then you do a shoulder check. This is also known as a lifesaver, and it will save your life. A lot of learners don't do shoulder checks, and that's when you get caught out, because mirrors have blind spots. And unfortunately, the blind spot is right there, like there. So when a car is there and you go, oh, there's nothing there, and then you turn, you are car. But if you just went, oh, there's a car. See, shoulder checks, very important. So yeah, as I say, you're going to have the scenarios of turning left, turning right. They're going to do a turn in the road, otherwise known as a U-turn, where you go along slowly along this line, and you have to do a U-turn within the space of the white line. Now, they'll explain this to you, but a lot of people have problems with U-turns. So let me just quickly do one. Okay, so you're going to be on like a line like this. Imagine there's not concrete blocks, there's just a painted white line. And you're supposed to pull away and then do a U-turn. So you're supposed to indicate out, check that it's clear. Imaginary cars can kill you. Pull away slowly and then... And that's it. Now noticed, I wasn't looking forwards. I was looking where I'm turning. Now let's put that white mark there on the floor. If I look at that white mark as I'm turning, so I don't need to look at the bike. I'm doing this extremely slowly to prove a point, but I can keep that in the centre of my vision. Now this will be very weird for me. I'm going to try and do a U-turn without looking where I want to go. This is so bizarre. It's horrible. And that's why so many people can't do it at first, because they can't get past looking where they're going rather than looking straight. They just see bikes straight ahead. I have to, I'm robotic. I can only look where I'm going. It's not what bikes are like. When you're riding bikes quickly, you're going through fast corners. If you look in front of you, you're getting such quick information that you're never going to be able to see what's going ahead. You will crash. You look into the corner, you don't look at what the bike's doing, and you then find that the bike goes the way you look, because a bike is very sensitive to your body position and what you do for turning. I mean, look, most turning is very little. The faster you go, the less input you need into the bars. turning the road. There's also emergency stop, slalom, and figure of 8. Slalom is obvious, they put cones in, you just go in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Then when you get to the end, you do like a U-turn, come back and do it again. You have a lot more space than you think you would. It's very easy. Figure of 8 is basically you have 2 points. You see, you've got these 2 bottle tops. Okay, so figure of 8. See, I look at one, come around. I'm now looking at this one. Again, this is like a U-turn, no different. Put these very close together, to be fair. They won't do it nearly this tight. But don't be afraid to come out, you've got lots of space. See? Yes, so that's the figure of 8 slalom, just like that, but a few more, and you just have to go round, simple. Yeah, basic turnings, emergency brake, which you'll see in my how to ride a motorcycle video, which will explain how you do that. And as long as you complete all of that okay, then, and that will take you 5 or 6 hours, probably about 4 or 5, as if things are spaced out, as you may be with 1 or 2 other people. You may be on your own, depends. If you got one-on-one, you're on a winner, because you learn so much more, really, in my opinion. But you can still learn as long as the trainer's good. You then normally go to have lunch. You get an hour to have lunch. If you're near a place, you can walk down the road and get something to eat, whatever. But do sit, have a drink, relax for an hour, sort of let it all ingest, because I find that you don't learn as you're doing, you learn on reflection, really. So all the information's there, and you just take it a hour to let it soak. And once it's there, your brain starts to understand it, and it all becomes much more second nature. Which brings you on to the final part, which is basically a minimum of 2 hours on the road. If they are doing less than that, they are not doing you justice in learning to be safe. So then the next part is after lunch, you go and you have 2 hours on the road, and that's a minimum of 2 hours. It shouldn't be any less than that. If they do less than that, they're not looking after you, they've not got your safety in mind. You need to be as well prepared for the road as possible. So anyway, on the road, the way that it works, you have a radio where you can hear them and they can't hear you. There is no microphone. Now, be prepared, because in my experience, these radios are rubbish. Okay, they are really rubbish. And at times, you won't hear what he said properly, sometimes. And then there might be arguments or confusions over, he said do this and you didn't hear it properly. Just as long as whatever you do, even if you go the wrong direction, you do everything you're supposed to. You indicate, you shoulder check, and you're safe. Even if you go, even if he says, at the junction, turn right, and you go to the junction and you turn left, he might moan at you for not going the direction you were supposed to go, but as long as you did it safely, it's fine. You may be with another rider. If you're on your own, you might be following him sometimes, and he'll be behind you at other times. If there's more of you, then you'll be in front for a while, and then someone else will go in front for a while, and he'll sort of give a bit of one-on-one training. Don't think if, for instance, you've got learner, instructor, learner, if you're at the back, don't think that he's not going to see you. Not doing your shoulder checks or not indicating properly, stuff like that. He will see you. These trainers, I swear, have like multiple eyes on stalks. You're like, how could you possibly see what I just did? They will see it. Then you return to the CBT place, and as long as everything went well, they give you a certificate. You have your CBT for 2 years. It runs out every 2 years. You should be aware of that, so you have to retake it every 2 years. Stay calm. Don't panic. Listen to the instructor and just try each thing one thing at a time. If you're a bit worried about U-turns and you're on something else and you keep worrying about the U-turns, you might mess up that. Don't do that. Just take one bite at a time. Think about that one thing, like eating a sandwich. You take one bite and you chew it. You don't take one bite and then stop worrying about the next bite and not enjoying the bite you're eating. I mean, come on, there's a bacon sandwich here, right? Okay, you want to enjoy the bacon. So each thing, one thing at a time, concentrate. A good thing to remember is to get yourself into a reset pattern. So, for instance, say that you are trying to do a turn in the road and you keep putting your foot down because you're not allowed to put your foot down, okay? Don't go, oh no, put my foot down, oh no. Reset pattern. So, I'm going to show you what I mean by this. Okay, so, doing a turn in the road, oh, I'm a bit unsure, I'll put my foot down. Oh, okay, it's fine. You need to start again. So, you just make sure you're in gear. Pull away gradually. Now, if you do a turn in the road and get back to doing a turn in the road, they might let you have that one, I don't know. But okay, so a reset pattern is basically back in neutral, foot on the rear brake, this is your reset point. Just remember in your head that when you're on the bike, foot on the brake, in neutral, it's turning over. This is a fresh start. This is reset. This is try again. This isn't thinking about what happened just now or the other 5 times before. This is the one. This is the only one you think about. So it's first gear, shoulder check. And there you go. Resets. Very good for learning. Nothing about riding a bike is particularly difficult. You just learn, and you get layer upon layer upon layer, and that's where you start on a small bike so you can learn. I mean, I will say this without question, the most important thing that happened in my life that defines me as a person, my enjoyment in life, and everything I do, I was born the day I got my bike licence. Well, my CBT, to be honest. But I really mean that. It changes your life into a massively fun, interesting world filled with interesting people, adventures. It's just awesome. And it doesn't matter if you're on a little bike or a 1400 monster. We're all the same. We're big kids on bikes that you'd have to pedal. And for that reason, we all love it. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Check out my other videos if you're interested, and the best of luck to you with your CBT, or your bike training, whatever you're doing. I'll catch you next time. So now you want to pull away. Now, one thing that lots of learners do is they don't give enough revs, and then they let the clutch out too quickly, and this will happen. That's a standard stall, and that's the worst thing that's going to happen. See, that's the classic, not enough revs, not enough revs.